Welcome to the Apex Strengthcast with your hosts, Gabrielle Latouf and Tyler Seabrook. This podcast is brought to you by Apex strength training for everyone. Welcome, Alex. What's going on, brother?
Oh, not a lot. Just been hanging out with you guys for 90 minutes while we figure out the mics.
So we had some update firmware issues right before we got started. So we had a good 90-minute conversation before this podcast. So we tried not to talk about all the topics in which we will have planned, which I think we did a pretty good job of it.
Yeah, I think we did good. It was the podcast before the podcast.
Yeah.
So.
It's made it real easy to go transition into it. I'm like, this is fine. All right, so what we wanted to touch on first with you was basically a bit of your powerlifting history. Mm-hmm. When did you start? How was your first comp?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sure. I first started training when I was 15. I'm 35 this year, so it's my 20
anniversary.
Yeah. Damn. But I didn't start powerlifting until I was 21. So I've been powerlifting for 13 years. So yeah, back in 2013. My first ever comp was a novice comp, but I was actually, so I started training at PTC headquarters and they asked me if I wanted to do GPC nationals, but I just started.
Straight into it.
And I was like, oh, no. But I wish I did it because they held it at the Novotel in Preston on Bell Street.
Yep.
And Dan Green was competing.
Right.
Yeah, they brought Dan Green over, but I had no idea who that was at that time. And I remember going to that comp. So that was the first comp I ever went to spectate, and that was like absolutely unreal. So that was sort of my intro, going to GPC Nationals 2013, and then I did a novice comp maybe like a month later.
Yeah. Something I love to talk about is like those old school powerlifters, because powerlifting moves on so quickly, where so many people who even listen to this won't even know who Dan Green is. No. Even though he revolutionized, like, whether it's the sport in the way of like, inspired people to get into powerlifting, but he was like, in my mind, like insane in the way he trained and like the numbers he hit. And this is, I don't know if you guys have heard of this before, but the RPE 11, you heard that being coined from him before, where he would do an attempt, like a single, and he would do it and it'd be the roughest single you've seen him lift before. And you're like, Jesus, that was brutal. And then he would do a second one. And you're like, that's a Dan Green RPE 11, because you're like, it didn't even look like he was going to get the first one.
Yeah.
And then he goes for a second and then he actually does it.
Gets it.
Yeah. He just like never gave up.
Yeah.
Like, so it was very impressive in that sense. But yeah, so you missed an opportunity to compete with Dan Green. Yeah,
I did. Yeah.
And then you never competed with him again, I imagine.
No, because I think he did Pro Raw 5, and my first Pro Raw was Pro Raw 6. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. Yeah, there you go. And that's something probably even for on the coaching side of things, it was cool to be around for Colton's performance at Big Dogs, just gone in November, I think it was, last year. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like cool to be like, oh, here he is, literally the strongest human being in the world at the moment. Yeah, it was a cool experience.
Yeah.
So I'm glad I was there for that. What's some highlights from your powerlifting career? What were your best performances? I've got them up here as well, but you can tell us a bit about them.
Yeah. Probably the first highlight would be taking the all-time Australian record in the 90 kilo class. That was in 2017. It was held by Jackson Murray at the time, who to me, like when I got into it, like he was like insane. So the fact that I was like taking a record from him was huge. And so that was 8:45, and that was probably just like the best comp I've ever had. It was like 9 for 9. I had someone like chasing me as well. Like he'd end up totaling like maybe like 8:10, but he'd like just squatted a bit more than me. Like I had a little bit of pressure.
Yeah.
So I was the most proud of that performance, I'd say.
Yep.
I also didn't peak for that comp. Chad Wesley Smith was coaching me at the time, and I knew he wouldn't like it if I did the comp, so I just didn't tell him. and afterwards I was like, oh, hey, I did this comp, total 8:45, took the all-time Australian record, sorry. And he's like, well, if you're gonna compete without telling your coach, it better be a good reason. That's probably that's probably the only one that I would ever let go. But now get back to your regularly scheduled training.
That's a good story. Like, didn't tell your coach you were going to compete, and then you went and become the national champion. Is that all in one?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Why didn't you tell him?
Yeah, why didn't you tell you?
Because he would have said no, and knew I was going to do it anyway. So, yeah.
Yes.
I'm not I'm a do as I say, not as I do type person. Because if my lifter did that, I mean, if they did that exact thing, I'd be pretty stoked. But like, if that was like a regular occurrence, like obviously.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'd say you've probably matured since then where like you're not going to go and do that with Dylan now, for example.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm too scared of Dylan to do that, so.
That's good.
Yeah.
So was that the 857 that you did?
No, so that was the next year where I became GPC national champion. And that was, the 857. Had a crack at, so the comp that I'd done, the one that I just spoken about, where I did the 845, took the number one spot. When I say number one spot, all-time Australian, this is just like, you'd look that up on Open Powerlifting. It's not like an official record. And it's across all feds, but like, obviously, this is like untested reps, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, it sounds cool. Pat Morrison had since taken that record with 872. And then, so I had a crack on my last deadlift at Nationals of the next year to try and go 875 to take it, but missed.
Okay, so there's a big jump on that third to try and take the record.
Yeah.
And I guess, I mean, so people know what you've done. 335 in wraps. How does that feel on a 89.5 kilo man?
Felt pretty good that day. Yeah.
Is it all relative to you in a sense that it just feels feels heavy, but not astronomically heavier than like what 300 first felt when you did 300 first, you know?
Yeah.
It just, as you get stronger, it gets relative to, what you can...
I think the only thing that feels different is just like how the association you have in your head with the number and because once you start, if you squat 300, you're like, yeah, this is big, but there's lots of people that have done this. But then when you start getting like, you've got 6 reds on there, you're 320 or 330 plus, you start becoming in like part of a smaller group of people.
Yeah.
And then, so I think that plays on your mind a little bit, but that's just part of getting stronger.
Sport.
Sport, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I was curious as to because your highest performance was back in 2000 and, what would it be, 19, probably one of your last comps that you did, 835. So when you did 860, that was your biggest total ever, but that was obviously at 100, or in the 110 class, but you're only 100.8.
Yeah.
Did you just not make weight for that comp, or you just didn't care what weight class you're in?
No, so Pat Morrison was supposed to be in the 100 kilo class, and we were supposed to go head to head. And so I was supposed to be in the hundreds, but then he pulled out for some reason. And then no disrespect meant to anyone else who was in the hundreds, but I think the person who ended up winning it that day totaled 800. So they were just like a fair bit below. So I thought to myself, I want to chase competition. You've got Nathan Jones in the 110s. I feel bad. I can't remember his name. He ended up winning and beating me. His name's Daniel. He was coached by Luke Shakespeare, I think. He'd won Pro Raw in the 110s before. I think he won Pro Raw 8. I just can't remember his last name. Anyway, they were all in there, and I was like, I'm going to chase the big guys. So I drank like a litre of water and then weighed in. Yeah, so it was on purpose.
So it was Daniel Blanford.
Yes, Daniel Blanford. Yep.
Yeah, and I mean, he cleaned the floor, actually.
Yeah.
900 total. Was that his first 900 as well?
That was his first 900. Yeah, he smashed it. So
yeah, I mean, you were on his heels. Like, he had to work for it. But 860 total, I mean, it's a massive total for that body weight. But then obviously since then, you stopped competing for a little while, I believe.
Well, after that, I got much stronger. So but I never got a chance to compete. So I was prepping for Pro Raw 12 in 2020.
Yep. And
then obviously COVID hits. So we organised a mock meet on like the last day of the gym being open, and where I squatted 370, bench 225, deadlifted 325. So it was like technically it was like a 920 gym total.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Because I was strong as, so I was like, I just want to put it together somehow.
Yeah.
So yeah, but then after that, that's when I stopped competing because through COVID, I had injuries that I was managing through that prep for Pro Raw 12.
Yeah.
And then through COVID, just not being able to train and move and being really unmotivated and all that sort of stuff that came with that time, the injuries just stretched out so much. They dragged out so much longer than they should have.
Yeah.
The gym that I was training at closed down. I started my own business, Deken Strong. I had no idea what I was doing.
Yeah.
All of that. So, yeah.
Yeah, I was always actually curious because I don't think I've really talked to you in depth about this. I just presumed maybe you just got injured and then like it was an injury you couldn't come back from, and then it went like too much time went on and then you lose motivation. Because I was like, hey, this is actually a really good question because I'm like, one, I didn't know you hit that kind of total, by the way. So that's like probably something that a lot of people don't know is that you've actually totaled over 900. Like it was impressive that you did 860.
Yeah.
But you actually did really, you're capable of doing, you know, mid 900s, for example, if COVID didn't hit.
Yeah, I got an invite to it. That comp never happened, but you know how Pro Raw, so they do big dogs and they've got Wildcats, and they were introducing a 115 class called Warriors. Did you ever hear of that?
Didn't even know about that.
Oh, okay, so it never happened, but I got an invite to Warriors, which from that, like, if you want to call it like a performance, even though it was in the gym.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that would have been cool, but yeah.
Yeah, especially because that was like the heyday of like, I'd say big dogs where they were getting some really good talent from overseas. They were putting big money up. One of the prize money they did early 2000, maybe 2021, but it was like 100 grand they put up prize money. And at that time, I don't think any powerlifting comp in the world had put 100 grand prize money up. Like it would have been one of the first serious money prizes like of any powerlifting that I had seen at the time, especially. Have you seen anything like earlier than that for that kind of prize money?
No, I don't know if that was big dogs. Maybe it was that one strength gym in Orange in New South Wales. I remember from my memory at least, they put up the biggest prize pool. But yeah, that time was definitely the heyday of like untested lifting in Australia, I would say.
Yeah. What would you say as to what's happened to untested lifting? And it does seem like it's dissipated a little bit. Even the recent big dogs was a lot smaller than what we originally thought it was going to be.
I think that I feel like social media plays a role, not just social media, as in, I think you've got people like, what's his name, Russell Orhe and stuff like that, guys who are like popular, like on social media, TikTok, whatever.
Yeah.
And they do tested lifting, and then so like all this, like the new generation of just following them, and like that's the trend now.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. Like I don't think anything really happened to untested lifting other than it's just not cool anymore. I mean, I don't know if it was ever cool to you, but it was cool to me.
Yeah, like maybe it's the popularity of it, because you look at like equip lifting early days, that was like what was popular.
Yeah.
And then now it's raw.
Yeah.
Maybe that's another reason as well people have gone away from wraps.
Yeah.
Like equip lifting, which is obviously your suit, but then you could argue wraps is part of the equipment. Obviously we do raw with wraps. But it seems like, you know, even in the recent APL Nationals, there's probably the least amount of like wrap lifters that there probably ever has been in the last, say, decade or so that I've seen anyway. I mean, what's your opinion on that as well? Like, it definitely seems like it's dissipating.
What's my opinion on it?
Like, whether wraps is like dying off, and maybe that's the reason as to why like the untested side.
Yeah, I guess I sort of see untested and wraps being like the same thing. I know it's not, but like
It basically is.
it
though,
basically is.
Yeah, because any like big comp is generally speaking wraps are allowed.
Yeah.
Like you look at all the best untested lifters in the moment. You got your John Hacks, you got your Coltons. It's all in wraps.
Yeah.
All the comps they do, and now John chooses to do sleeves, but he could do wraps.
Yeah.
Which is what an animal, by the way. Just
Yeah,
like
yeah.
he's like, nah, got to do it in sleeves.
Yeah.
And props to you, by the way, about like chasing competition. Like you could have just gone and got a comfy win in the 100 class, but you're like, nah, I'm going the 110s as a 100.8 to try and beat the 110s. You know?
Yeah, I really, really wanted to verse Nathan Jones because he was like just my favorite Australian powerlifter.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if you know who he is.
A lot of these guys you're mentioning, I'm
No.
like, so out of the loop. And
Okay.
you got to imagine from my perspective. So I remember when I first seen you or met you, like we didn't really talk much in person. It was at one of the novice comps that you were doing at PTC.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And my mate Sean Glover was competing.
Right.
And I was going to PTC for the first time in South Melbourne. And I was like, am I going to get banned for going here? Like, legitimately, like, worried. I was like, just don't help anyone. Don't talk to Alex. You know? He was like the, what's it called? Like the forbidden fruit. And I was like being real careful because that was the days where
that
thou
PA?
shalt not be named would just
Yeah.
ban people for just doing anything at another federation. So it was like real like I want to be there for my mate, but and it's funny because that's just not the case anymore. Like at all, you can go to any gym and you would never think someone's watching you behind your back. Looking over you. Like how much the culture has shifted in that short period of time. And that would have been like 2017, 2018, around that time. Yeah. Yes.
And you, with your, what was it, 860 highest total, like from there, where did you start, like for your novice comp, for example? Do you know your rough numbers or?
Oh, yeah, I know all my numbers.
Yeah.
600 was my first.
600?
Yeah. I went, so that was in wraps, but walked out of a combo.
Yep.
Deadlift bar, and then like benching like with your heels up. So that was 210 squat, 160 bench, 230 deadlift.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, when someone totals 600 in their first
Yeah,
comp,
the first time.
the like the 5 guys I know who've done that, they've all totaled like 900. Like so their first comp 600, it's like, all right, they're going to be elite. Like it's pretty much almost guaranteed now. Jesus, how many people have you seen do 600 in their first comp and then not do well? It's like generally speaking, they do bow pretty good. Like because you're going to progress from that point. How many years were you training before that 600?
6 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More bodybuilding style, I assume.
Yeah. Like strength training, like squatting, benching, deadlifting, maybe 3 years, 2-3 years, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, how'd you get into it? How'd you get into powerlifting?
I can't actually remember exactly what made me look it up. I think I must have realized I was strong or something like that, and sort of got interested in the more strength side of stuff, and then got into like searched up on YouTube and found Westside Barbell, and then I was buying like all the training booklets and their the briefs. I had like a pair of briefs. I had a shirt.
Yep.
I had like a bench shirt. I had the like the TRX, or is it TRX? It was some sort of Inza like single ply suit.
Right.
No idea what I'm doing. I remember I was in the kitchen with my dad. I'm like, Dad, can you get this like the shopping bag and then to help me get this thing on? And he's helping me. Like, he has no idea what I'm doing. I have no idea what I'm doing. And so I got into it that way, and then sort of moved away from it once I was like, this equipment shit is just fucking, I have no idea what's going on. So then I started getting into, do you know Joe DeFranco?
Joe Franco.
Yeah.
Joe DeFranco. So he's a strength and conditioning coach in New Jersey. Yeah. Like Italian guy, obviously with that last name.
Yeah.
Like very like quintessential sort of like New Jersey type of character. And he released a program called West Side for Skinny Bastards. And so it was the same sort of like programming where you've got your dynamic days and your max effort days and all of that, but it was more athletic. So I had like, it's funny that I'm doing the plyometrics now because I was doing it back then. I'd have like vertical jump days, horizontal jumping days, or plyometric days, and then I'd have your squat, your bench, and your deadlift, and got into it that way. And then when PTC headquarters moved out of the Frankston Dolphins change rooms, because I originally went to go find their gym, but I couldn't find it because I didn't know it was in the fucking change rooms of the football club. When they actually moved into the proper facility, that's when I went down there and gave it a crack. So, yeah.
Yeah, so that's how it all started, huh? It's funny, those old school programs that we all followed. Like I did like Chico and, there's like Eastern European. Never did the West Side one. I'd obviously seen a bit of it, but it was, they're wild. I actually put the West Side documentary on the other day at the gym, just to let's just chuck it on. I wonder, like, if you have any, I guess, ambition to get back to the numbers that you had previously done. I mean, I know that you've transitioned away from PEDs, which you've been very open and public about. What's your perspective on that?
Probably not, because I know, I think I'll probably take test again one day, but I imagine it would just be like TRT type thing. Like I'm not going to go take a stack of stuff. And I know that's probably what I would have to do. Not saying that, most likely that's what I would have to do to get to those numbers and beyond. Yeah. Do I want to do that? Not really.
That's good to hear, because something that I've always wondered how I would handle that point in my life where I know I'll never total like a certain number again, because we all are going to get to that point where there'll be like a number that you do and you may not know it at the time, but it'll actually be the strongest total you will ever put together. And you got to be okay with retiring from that, or at least from that high level. Like you can always go into masters divisions and kind of get accomplishments in the masters divisions, but they're never your best that you have done. So it is like an interesting thing. I think a lot of athletes, especially high level athletes, have to go through. Like some people don't mind because they get to like a moderately strong. So it's not like, when your character, everything is built around your lifts and how strong you are, you got to like transition out of that, like what people know you for. And I think you've already done that really well, where you've transitioned as a strength coach, and everyone knows your brand and knows who you are, and they may not know how strong you got. Like I didn't realize you'd done 900 plus, for example, and you fucking train out of my gym, and but I guess you obviously don't talk about it all the time. Just randomly start bringing it up.
Don't get me wrong. If you ask me, I'll definitely tell you. Yeah, but I'm not going to tell you randomly.
That's good. All right.
And what about back to the that old school programming and the plyometric kind of stuff? So now we've seen you do a bit of that.
Yeah.
How's that been? Like, how did that come about?
That came about because so Dylan Sorensen, my coach, he's helping me rehab my hamstring. So I was prepping for my first comp in 4 years back in October, but then injured my high hamstring on the right side, and so we ended up doing bench only there, and then since then we've been rehabbing it, and the plyometrics has been part of the rehab. So I mean, my interpretation, I've never actually said, hey Dylan, why are we doing this? But my interpretation is like, if I can be explosive and then also withstand the impact of landing and all that sort of stuff, it's almost like you're over preparing for if I can do that over and over and over again, I can probably do a squat and a deadlift and my hamstring should be all right.
Yeah.
So because it's definitely progressed, these plyometrics. It wasn't, we're doing other things first.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I recently had my own experience in that, where I decided to, not for powerlifting, but for futsal. So I play futsal once a week, as you know, and I was very vulnerable. Like I tore my hamstring in my second game back. I rolled my ankle really bad. And I was like, man, this is like scary how easy it was to hurt myself. And I was like, I need to do something about this. And I was like, well, what's the best thing for that? Tendon resilience, stability, things like that. So there's less likely that you could hurt yourself. So I started doing just like a basic routine specific for futsal. But immediately I recognized how more resilient I was in powerlifting as well. Because powerlifting is a very controlled sport, so we're not shocking the tendons like you do in sports like football, rugby, soccer. But there's definitely a level of resilience you notice if you're obviously over and above that, like with your plyometrics, which is like more sport specific, generally speaking. So I found a lot of success from that. I had some knee issues; they're completely gone since I started plyometrics. And I never, at the start, I wouldn't say I correlated it with the plyometric success of the knee, but now thinking about it, I'm like, fuck, that's probably what it was. Because I had it for 6 months and then all of a sudden it just wasn't a problem anymore. And then I was like, And then it's funny because then you started doing it. And I was like, oh, yep, Dylan's obviously prescribing it for exactly the same thing, resilience.
Now I'm doing it.
And now Gabe's doing it. Yeah, because I was like, well, it worked for me, it's working for you. And I'm like, well, I'm going to give it to Gabe because it got to that point with Gabe recently where general rehab and working around the problem wasn't working or not as fast as I would like it to work. So I was like, nah, let's take it to a next level, which is the plyometrics, which generally speaking, I don't like giving to my athletes straight away because it's not sport specific. It's a little bit, I would say maybe boring to them. Like sometimes people don't want to do those kind of movements if they're a powerlifter. So it's like, but then I, had that conversation with Gabe where I was like, I think you actually need this and it's going to like suck for the period of time. And maybe not. I mean, you tell me, like, what's your experience with it now?
Oh, it's fine. Like, because I've done it before. Like for cricket and stuff, I had to put so much stress through this knee, being a fast bowler and stuff. And then, now, I don't know, it just feels like I'm getting a bit of athleticism back.
Yeah, I think that's the part I love about it the most.
Yeah.
Because being a powerlifter, you can get very, you can just feel very heavy. And you don't feel resilient. You're like, I'm good at these 3 things, but if you make me move, don't surprise me. Like, don't make me move in a way I'm not meant to, because otherwise something might break.
Yeah.
Whereas that's been the best part. Just that, I don't know, just like sense of like increased like capability.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
same.
if I had to run and like jump over something, I don't know.
You could attempt to do it and not hurt yourself.
Yes.
That's where before you might have been like, ooh, am I going to be able to handle this?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the same for me. I wanted to be able to run, jump, kick, and not hurt myself.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's funny how, because I made a joke about it in the notes where I was like, is plyometrics the new mobility? Where people would always do mobility to deal with a problem. And it's just like, is plyometrics the new mobility? So it's like a funny catch for it. But it seems to be like the modern science in terms of like, because I haven't seen that many people apply plyometrics to powerlifters, like historically. But it seems it's becoming more popular with modern coaching. So yeah, I mean, there's something to it definitely. Like, and also, who doesn't want to be athletic, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's so nice. Just
I can't imagine anyone saying that they wouldn't enjoy that, especially because you don't have to do that much.
I know. It's
Like
crazy.
I'm doing 2 sets of like 12 jumps, whatever you call it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like 2 or 3 times a week.
Yeah.
That's it. And I've gotten like better like really quickly.
Yeah, it's
The only thing is you just feel a little bit silly if it's like a packed gym or whatever, because you can't like start slow because you're going for height.
Yeah.
So you have to put in all the effort. And so you're laying out all your cards on the table. And if it's pathetic, well then,
it's true.
It feels a bit embarrassing, but
it's not as embarrassing as getting into your underwear and posing, but it's like a little bit weird. You get some looks. Like at Apex, it's fine, obviously, but if you go to a commercial gym and do that shit, it'd be like, just go to it.
At Pro Raw, where I first tried it, it was a bit different because it's like strength training and stuff like that, but like it's pretty much a commercial style gym. You've got like gym pop in there, and I remember just trying to find like a corner down the back, but it's hard to hide yourself when you're literally trying to jump as high as you can in the air. So
yeah,
and I wasn't, and I was supposed to be doing soft landings, and those landings were not soft. They would have just been like boom, boom every time I'm landing. So
no, but no, it's super effective, and I recommend it for anyone who's having issues. And you can even, if you can't afford to get coaching, you can just literally look up a YouTube video on some plyometrics, which any kind of basic routine will help anyone really.
Yep.
But if you want to be specific about it, obviously get yourself a coach. I was curious, how long have you actually been a coach now?
I got my PT cert in 2014, so 12 years.
Yeah, 12 years, so over a decade of experience. Recently, you coached at the APL 5, I believe it was, where you had, 9, 10 clients?
Yeah, we had 9 that day.
How do you go about managing that number of clients in one competition?
Planning ahead, making sure everyone knows. I'm not the sort of coach where like I'm not like in your ear trying to like amp you up sort of beforehand. I want to make sure you're really prepared. Like as you come in, like you should already sort of know what to do and feel like you know what's going on. But on top of that, I also have a really supportive community. I had people like other members of the team come in and help, like more experienced members of the team. Like even when I run workshops and stuff for Deacon Strong, I have my lifters come and help me run them. So I'm really fortunate to have a good team.
Yeah, and it's like probably the best explanation for it, right? Is just having the like people supporting you doing that job. It's so true about like having your athletes being prepared. Like it's, I mean, strange to me when you see athletes who aren't prepared. Like they don't know what they're getting themselves into. Like why have they not been doing the calls and the processes beforehand? So that way it's just natural to them.
Or that, and then like getting cues and stuff, like in the warm up room, like new cues, like was like almost like when they're trying to figure stuff out then and there. It's like no, you should already know what's going on.
Yeah, it's unfortunately a little too late because as soon as you're nervous, they're going to go straight out the window.
Yeah.
Yep. Very nice. Well, I guess we can transition into where do you want to take the brand? Yeah, your brand obviously is what, Deacon Strong?
Deacon Strong. Yeah.
You know, where do you see it in the future? What direction? What you want to go? Recently, you've put on a new coach.
Yep. Yeah, so we've brought on Emma Keith, who is coach. She's also doing nutrition for Deacon Strong as well, because that's not something I've done in the past. I've always outsourced, so that's good to have someone within Deacon Strong doing that. Look, honestly, when I got into it, I was never thinking ahead. I was like, yeah, I'm just going to be a business owner and do my own thing and coach. And then I realized that, there's so many more parts to being a business owner. And so I think the last 5 years, I've just been learning about those different aspects like marketing and, creating systems and all that sort of stuff. So that's been part of the journey up until now. But the plan for this year, at least, is building a lot more brand awareness. I want to do a lot more. I've done 3 or 4 workshops over the last couple of years, but I want to do hopefully like 1 a month at least this year, where we take it the workshop to like group fitness gyms, like CrossFit gyms, Body Fit, that sort of thing, where you've got people who are already doing the lifts, but maybe don't have access to like the specialized knowledge that people like we would have.
Yeah.
And we can give a bit more extra insight and sort of simplify things a bit for them and help the gym as well by, because obviously if the members can lift more and are enjoying it more, like they're only going to be happier and, less instances of injury, hopefully as well, which benefits the gym. So that's sort of the idea, wanting to do more of that. We want to also do, Emma and I just had a meeting like 2 days ago, and we really want to do like events for charity and stuff.
Yeah, that's really cool.
So we're actually thinking of like asking you if you wanted to collaborate, so we can talk about that later.
Nice.
Whether it's workshops or whether it's a novice comp, whether it's whatever. But just doing like, that builds brand awareness, but we want it to mean something as well. Like not just benefit us, benefit other people. So be a little bit more fulfilling. So in terms of where I see the brand in 10 years, look, I'm still not too sure, but I just know I'm probably thinking more about this year and just pushing, getting the brand out there, and then just seeing what comes from that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's, I think, answered quite well. And I think, fulfilling that full community side of things, with charity and with helping people out and teaching and, part of like being coaches is like even just your own athletes, like teaching them to be better athletes.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's just part of like, and then also contributing to the community, like supporting events, volunteering at events, it all encompassing really.
Yeah. Community was like, big focus for us. Like we always do like we're like based online, but obviously we're we do our team training sessions out of Apex and Pro Raw as well. And that's, twice a week. So we want to do, community is a big thing to us. So that's why we want to take that further. What else can we do? Which is where the charity sort of stuff came in. So whether that brings us to having our own gym one day, who knows? Haven't really thought about that. Can't really be fucked with the overheads, but if it gets to that point, then
I can tell you all about them.
I'll come to you for some advice. So,
No, that's good. I guess to finish before we have some questions from some people who put in some stuff, what would you, if you weren't a coach, what career path would you have followed?
I have no idea. I've thought about that before. I honestly have no idea. I was working at a childcare centre before, like a before and after school care, prep to 6.
Yeah.
But I was never going to keep. I enjoyed that, but I was never going to keep doing that. I don't know. I feel like I'd just be making up an answer. If I had to stop now and do something else, I would say something in like fragrance or something like that.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. So if people don't know this, Alex loves his fragrances. I guess you could say it's a hobby.
Yeah.
Yep. You've pulled back a little bit on it in more recent times, as you mentioned, but
Pulled back on buying fragrances because they're expensive, but I'm definitely still, I immerse myself in other ways, whether it's going to like little workshops or just like literally just bothering the people at like different niche stores around Melbourne, getting to know them, asking questions. So I'm still definitely like just as involved, if not more. Than
So for the sweaty boys out there, what's one cologne you would recommend for them?
I don't know. There's so many.
Don't give him the best one because you got to keep that for yourself. Give him something that's like.
I think I would try good everyday one that you could use at the gym, going out, whatever. YSLY is like a very good one. You go the EDP, not the EDT, because it doesn't last as long. I think that's probably the most solid recommendation. Not too expensive. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's an unpaid promotion right there.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. YSL sponsor
Notes
me.
taken. I'm about to run out of my everyday, so I'm like...
Yeah, true. I'm going to write that down afterwards. Start typing.
We come in, walk, smelling the same.
Oh, yeah. I'll be like All right, so we got this one's I wish I didn't know this question, but I was just too curious when it came through. All right.
So is this from the Instagram?
This is from the Instagram
story.
All right.
And so it's one of my clients, and I have to guess who it is.
Yeah, that's true. There's two parts to this. Right. So, firstly, we'll answer the question, then we'll go to the who did it.
Okay.
Who of the three of us would be better as a Calvin Klein model?
I know exactly his answer. That's a stupid question.
Jeez.
Who's answering this question?
Jeez, I kind of wondered that.
You're the one that's done bodybuilding, so I'm saying you.
All right, so I've done like a modeling shoot, right? I thought about this, right? And I think I was actually in Calvin Klein. I can put it up on there.
Inside
we can put the edit up on this, actually. I'll put it one up. I was like lean as fuck, but we did a little modeling shoot when I was doing my bodybuilding prep. And so I've had that one experience of, modeling, and I've done a few other bits and pieces as well. But I feel like you have a better face for modeling. It's like
the Calvin Klein
It's
look.
like that deadpan look. When he's like, you don't know if he's upset, he's happy, he's angry. He's just like sitting there chilling. And I'm like, that's the face of Calvin Klein.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah. I mean, Gabe, what's your input? Because Gabe didn't know about this question. I kept it from him as well.
Well, if it was yesterday, I'd say Calvin Klein models don't have mullets, so...
That's very true. Yeah. Your rat tail, your mullet.
She's gone.
That wouldn't have bode too well.
So that was definitely a lease that I asked.
Correct. Yeah. When you said it before, I was like, he's got this in the bag. Yeah. Straight up from release. And the final question: the secret behind Jono's deadlift.
That question was from me. Yeah. And I asked Jono, but I still want to hear it.
How do you get the 340?
It's like, man, he's like, what did he hit in his last comp? Was it 342 or something?
340, yeah.
340?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think?
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know. I feel like I've tried to think this myself. Like, what did we do differently other than just be consistent and keep working? Yeah, there was nothing different that we did other than we probably managed his volume maybe a little bit better because he's had knee surgery in the past. We didn't change his technique. It was just a little bit of a change in volume.
Like less volume or
yeah, because
more
he
spread out,
was
or-
actually quite high volume for a while.
Yeah.
Like he would be doing 5 working sets of deadlifts and squats and everything. And then it got him up to a certain point, and then I was like, oh, I feel like you could see those signs he's getting tired. So then I started cutting things down again, and then that took him further. So I think just boring answer, just
less is more.
Adapting the volume as he got stronger.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is pretty much like a pretty solid adaptation, right? I think he definitely dialed in the way that he wedges. Like the way that I see him wedge, I'm like, oh, that's a very efficient way of like dialing into the bar.
Yeah.
The way he rocks back and then forward.
I like it.
Yeah.
I think he also just, mentally seems way more confident. Like he's a pretty reserved person.
Yes.
But you really see, like for him, like he gets like fairly emotive when he lifts. Like, and if you watch him, you'd be like, that's not emotive at all. But if you know Jono, like he doesn't grunt or do anything like that, or he never used to. But now he does a bit of that and G's himself up. And I just think he probably just takes it a bit more. Not that he didn't take it seriously before, but he probably just backs himself more now. And he's just started nutrition with Emma because before he wasn't focusing on it. So I'm pretty keen to see how that goes. Because his last comp, he'd been doing it. He'd been working on his nutrition for maybe like a month and managed like an extra 30 kilos on his total in like 6 weeks or whatever it was.
There you go.
Or 3 months, whatever.
There
Fairly
you go.
short amount of time.
People underestimate the other variables.
Nutrition matters, guys.
Other variables of performance.
But that was the biggest thing that pushed my total up as well, because I was taking gear before I had like this big jump in 2017. It was focusing on the nutrition was the only thing that I changed.
Yeah, it's a funny like list of order where you, especially inexperienced younger lifters, they assume drugs are the key. Where it's like no. Like if you don't sleep, you don't grow. You don't eat, you don't grow.
No.
And so like you tick those boxes first and foremost. Make sure your training's reasonably good. You know, like a lot of programs will get someone stronger. You know, there's better programs that will keep them more resilient or get them stronger a bit quicker or whatnot. But those other variables of performance, which we're all coaches, we see it. People who are on point with everything, they just numbers, like just jump up. Like it's obvious. Even outside genetics, you know. So even someone with genetics, they're going to be even way better again if they,
With the
nutrition, with the sleep, they're so underappreciated, I would say. Yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
Well, where can everyone find you, Alex?
Instagram would be the best place. So you've got my personal one, which is Alex Deken PL, and then the business one, which is Deken Strong with an underscore at the end.
Beautiful.
There we go.
Yeah. That's it.
Thanks for chatting, bro.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Thanks for being here for like 3 hours.
Yeah.